Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Art of Creation Homestead. My name is Jason. We're in the kitchen. All right, and Angela Kay has she's got a delicious recipe on deck for you today. Sometimes things just get to where you don't want to do a complicated recipe. Maybe your kids only have certain things they want to eat, right? And you don't want to buy prepackaged box things for them or going out to get something to eat for them all the time, right? So you need a good kids meal. Maybe you need a good simple meal for yourself. So that's what Angela Kay is doing today. It's a good, simple recipe of some chicken fingers with a homemade dipping sauce. And so I'm going to turn it over to her and let her take care of showing what to do.
Here we have 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts that I've cut into strips. You can get about 4 to 5 strips from each chicken breast if they're large. If you don't want to mess with cutting up chicken breast, you can just buy packs of chicken tenders and it will work just fine. You will get a little bit bigger chicken fingers if you use chicken breast and cut them up.
And it's more financially efficient typically.
Yes, it's a lot more financially efficient.
Yep.
So I've got those cut up. I'm going to show you a few tricks to making these super flavorful and get those little crunchy bits on them that you love from chicken places and things like that. I'm going to show you how to get those. And first we need to start by marinating them. So you'll need to do this about an hour before you need to fry them. And to marinate, you kind of need something a little acidic. So in this bag, we have 1 cup of whole milk cultured buttermilk. And that has enough acidity in it that it will take care of any acidity that the chicken needs.
That's 1 cup of whole cultured buttermilk. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Whole milk, not low fat. Whole.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. Now I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of salt on my chicken. Just a little bit, because you're going to add a lot of flavor to the marinade. So you don't want to overdo it with salt on the chicken. To the bag with the buttermilk, we are going to add about 2 teaspoons of salt. And we are going to add a good bit of black pepper, but that depends on how much black pepper you like in your chicken. Or like if you're doing this for kids and they don't like black pepper, don't put it in. Now we are going to add about 1.5 teaspoons of granulated garlic. That should give it some really good flavor. And we will mimic some of these flavors in the breading as well, plus add a little bit more as well. So you want to kind of shake it around in your bag. Now you want to add your chicken strips to your marinade. And once you get them all in there, take your clean hand.
Yeah. Always try to focus on keeping a clean hand and a chicken hand.
Yes.
Right.
And you want to kind of work them around in the buttermilk to make sure they're all nice and coated in the buttermilk. And then the buttermilk is also a good tenderizer as well. So it will make things like chicken, it will make it very tender and very juicy. So buttermilk's going to be your friend with this. So now you want to seal up your bag. And you want to put it in the refrigerator for about an hour. And when the hour is almost up, I will come back and show you how we make the breading.
Now, earlier in the day, Angela already made the sauce, so here's the footage from her making the dipping sauce.
Now I'm going to show you how to make an amazing dipping sauce for those chicken fingers. But you want to make this probably the night before you make your chicken fingers, or at least 5 hours before, so that it has time to rest in the refrigerator and the flavors meld together really well. Your patience will be rewarded. Now you're going to notice I'm not measuring really precisely here. I just do it by feel and by taste. But I will give you measurements. So in this container, I'm just doing it in the container that I'm going to store it in the refrigerator in. I have about 1/2 cup of mayonnaise and about 1/4 cup of ketchup. To that, I am adding about 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire sauce. What's this here sauce? Now, however you say it. Now we're going to add a good couple of pinches of salt and a good bit of cracked black pepper. You can put as much as you like. And we are going to add probably about 1/4 of a teaspoon. You don't want a ton. Probably about 1/4 teaspoon of granulated garlic. And this right here, you don't have to add it, but it does add a little something something. I'm adding about 1/4 teaspoon of seasoned salt. I use Redmond's real salt. You can use Lowry's, you can use whatever you like. Now you want to mix all this together. You want to mix all this together really well. Be sure and get that Worcestershire sauce in there. Be sure and get all the spices in there. Now, after you do this, you want to taste it and see if you've got the amount of seasoning in it that you like. If you want more seasoning, add more seasoning. If you want more Worcestershire sauce, add more Worcestershire sauce. Whatever you like, just add it. But you want to make sure that you get it mixed really well before you taste it. That way you're not missing out on any flavors. And that way you don't adjust when you really don't need to adjust. Okay, let's taste. That's pretty fire the way it is. But I think I'm going to add just a little bit more Worcestershire sauce. It was a little shy of a tablespoon. So I'm going to add just a little bit more Worcestershire sauce and a little bit more of the seasoned salt. Maybe a little sprinkle more granulated garlic. But mostly we need another little pinch of salt and a few more good grinds of black pepper. And remember, this is going to taste totally different once it's set and all the flavors are married together. It's going to taste totally different. So you want to be careful with how much seasoning you do and things like that, because it's going to taste different. I can't wait for it to rest and meld together. Now it's about 10 minutes before your chicken will come out of the marinade. And now I'm going to start making the dredge for the chicken. What I mean by the dredge, it's just the coating. And in this dish we have 1 cup of all-purpose flour. We have 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. The cornstarch will help make it crunchy. We have 1½ teaspoons of salt. We have roughly about 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. That depends on how much pepper you like. We have 3/4 teaspoon of granulated garlic. We have 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. And we have 1.5 teaspoons of paprika. You want to mix all that together. Now all of these spices also depend on your taste buds and who you are cooking for. If you are cooking this for kids, you may want to scale back on the garlic and the onion and stuff like that, unless your kids like those things. And if you like more flavor, then add more. But this is going to be very flavorful. Now you want to make sure when you're mixing it, you want to make sure you break up those lumps that are inevitably going to be in cornstarch. Just make sure you break those up. Now the next step is another little trick other than the cornstarch that is going to make a big difference in these. And you know those chicken fingers that you get in restaurants that have the little crunchy bits all over them? I'm going to show you how to get that. To this flour mixture, you are going to add anywhere from 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup of whole cultured buttermilk. The reason I say 1/2 to 3/4 cup, it depends on how many craggy bits you want on your chicken. So I'm going to start with 1/2 cup. And you want to stir it in. And you're going to get these little craggy nuggets, basically, that is going to stick all together. You may need to get in there with your hands to break them up a little bit. Make sure that they get all broke up. And it looks like from here, it looks like that's going to be just right. It looks like the half cup is going to be just right for me. And see, there's all kinds of little craggy bits in there now. All kinds of little nuggets. And you want to take your fingers and kind of break them up a little bit. See, it kind of looks kind of shaggy. So at this point, you're getting very close. So now you want to start preheating your oil. On the stove, in a 12-inch skillet, I have about 1 inch of a neutral flavored oil. You can use any neutral flavored oil you like, but I have about 1 inch of a neutral flavored oil in there. You don't want to deep fry these, but you don't want to shallow fry them either. So this is kind of a medium fry. Now our chicken fingers are ready to come out of the marinade. So you want to keep one hand for wet ingredients and one hand for dry ingredients. So I'm going to pull them out one by one and put them in the dry ingredients. And you want to toss them in there, and because of all the craggy little bits, you want to kind of push them onto it, to your chicken. And you'll see that it's kind of a shaggy mess, but it's going to make for really good chicken. Going to make for really crunchy, really good chicken tenders. You want to kind of pat them in place. Now, you will take them off, lay them onto a piece of wax paper, because you want to let them rest just a little bit while you're doing the rest of them. So I'm going to keep dredging these in my flour mixture, and I'll show you what they all look like when they're done. And as you can see, they're all breaded up now. Now we're going to take these over and test our oil, and I'll show you how to test your oil to make sure it's hot enough to fry these. Okay, as I told you, we have a 12-inch skillet over here. We have about 1 inch of a neutral flavored cooking oil in it, and we have it heating over about medium high, and I can feel that it's starting to get hot, but I don't think it's quite hot enough yet. How you will check to see if it's hot enough, you will take some of those little craggy bits of the coating, and you will drop one in and see it's starting to fry, but it's not frying really quickly. See, you will want it to start to rise to the top of the oil almost immediately. So let's try another one. And see, it's rising to the top of the oil, but not as quickly as you want it to. Because if your oil's not hot enough, then your chicken fingers will be very greasy, because they will absorb a lot of the oil if your oil is too cold. See, that one rose a lot faster, but it still needs just a little bit more heat. Now we'll try one more. See, now it's popping up almost immediately. So we'll give it a couple of seconds, and we'll try one more, because we're nearly there. Drop it in. It's rising up very quickly now. So now I'm going to put in my first batch. You don't want to overload your pan. And see, immediately you want to put them in, and you want to put it away from you. That way you don't splash up hot oil on yourself. So you want to lay it in from in front of you, and then drop it away from you. And that's all I'm going to put in there for right now. That's about 3 big ones. That's all I'm going to put in there for right now, because you do not want to overload your pan, because that will cause them to steam instead of get crispy. You want to leave them until they're brown on one side, and then you want to flip them. That should take about 5 to 7 minutes. I'll show you what it looks like when we're there. Now, as you can see, they're starting to get nice and golden brown even on top. So let's flip one and see what it looks like. You want to flip them gently.
Those are looking great.
You can see I did add one more small one to the pan, because after I moved them around a little, there was room for one more small one, so he's not quite ready yet. So this side isn't going to take near as long because it's already started browning. So that side took about 7 minutes, 7 to 10 minutes. So this side will take maybe 5 minutes at most. It's been about 5 minutes. Let's raise one up to see what it looks like.
That's a good looking chicken right there.
Now you want to shake some of the oil off. Then we're going to take it over here to a paper towel lined plate.
Man. Hey, beautiful chicken from a beautiful cook.
They've never seen me.
That's their loss.
So now when they're hot from the oil, you want to hit them with a little bit, just a little tiny sprinkle of salt just to boost up, make sure that they're seasoned well enough. You don't want to do a lot, just a tiny sprinkle. Now I'm going to finish frying these up and we'll show you what they look like.
Look at that beautiful piece of fried chicken. I love me some fried chicken. Chicken in general, I mean, dead or alive, right? But we'll take it. The chicken, dead or alive. Take a bite though. Wow. So good. Beautiful flavor. Wow.
Does it have a good crunch?
Oh yeah, beautiful, great crunch. Chicken's nicely done. Wonderful. Get a little dipping sauce on one here. Try with that sauce on it. Awesome. Great sauce. You did a great job. It's so good. It's a great piece of fried chicken right there, y'all. Be honest with you. It's so delicious. Good crunch. Nice flavor. Great sauce. Angela killed it again. Never fails. Never fails, Angela K. Comes up with something delicious and amazing. And I've never had a bad meal. Almost 20 years of marriage, never had a bad meal in this kitchen. So that does it. A great chicken tender, chicken finger recipe that you can do at home instead of having to go out and get it or use a box mix or a box meal. Okay, so thank y'all for watching. I do appreciate it. My name is Jason. That genius back there, her name is Angela K. This is Art of Creation Homestead. We love y'all. God bless you and goodbye.